Closing the eyes if you haven't already. I'm going to move through a relaxation process. So as I say different parts of the body, bring your awareness to that part of the body. And just imagine like a warm glow, like a warm hug to that part of the body where you're able to just release, like as when you're holding and hugging someone and that, 10 seconds in, and then you can just, okay, I can just relax. That's that kind of sensation that we're going to bring to each part of the body. So we'll start at the top of the head. Bring your awareness to the very top of the head, that warm glow, washing down to the face, the forehead, the eyebrows melting down to either side of the face, giving space in between the space of the eyebrows. The cheekbones can rest down and the jaw can release. A warm hug to the jaw. The tongue resting down at the bottom of the mouth. The front of the throat can rest down towards the back of the throat, and the sides of the neck can melt down towards the mat. The shoulder blades can rest into the back of the mat. And the space between the collarbones can soften. The front of the heart can rest down towards the back of the heart. A warm, glowing hug for the heart. Going down across the abdomen to the low belly. Warmth, love, compassion to the belly. Moving down to the pelvis, through the hips. Washing down the legs, allowing the muscles of the legs to melt off the bone. Washing down the shins and the calves, and the feet. Warm, glowing hug. Coming back up the backs of the legs through the calves and the hamstrings and resting at the low back. And then from the low back, coming into the center of the pelvis, to the space of the womb. I'm going to move into the birth sealing energy practice. So I'd like for you to just imagine, this is not too hard of a place for you to be in. If it is, if it's difficult to reflect back on your birth experience, just bring your awareness to the womb and you can tune my voice out. So reflecting back to that moment that labor started, where you were really sure that this was labor. And starting to become aware of how the crown of the head is starting to open up, almost like a little portal. It's opening up to that universal consciousness, that intelligence, God, heaven, whatever you want to call it, starting to open up. And also, quite physically and energetically, your root is starting to open as well, like a little portal, opening up. So the crown of the head is starting to open, the root is starting to open, and the space in between is starting to tighten in like an hourglass shape. In the middle of that hourglass is the space between the heart and the belly button. And then becoming aware of the moment, the exact moment of birth, whether that was vaginal or cesarean birth. Imagining yourself as a cylinder. The hourglass has now opened up into equal cylinder, like a pipe, like a barrel. Crown is open, your body is open, and the root is open. A clear pathway for your baby to move into this world. And then imagining the moment that you have your baby on your chest, whether that was right after the birth or perhaps hours or maybe even days later. Feeling that connection of the baby, your baby, up next to your heart, and that your crown of your head is starting to seal, like the tip of a seed, starting to seal off, and the root is starting to seal off like the bottom of the seed, so that your energy can move into the center of the body, so that your energy can be restored for you, that your energy is moved through your body as opposed to all of the external forces outside of you. We seal off these spaces, restoring the energy back into ourselves so that we aren't so open energetically, so that we aren't so prone to being swayed or influenced or affected by the outside world. We're coming back home to ourselves so that insane, intense, energy and movement of birth can now be inside the heart. So that strength can be through your love and through your compassion for yourself and for others. Now this is flowing inside of us instead of outside of us, sealing off the birth energy so that we can move through postpartum and through motherhood, feeling grounded and secure, feeling as though our bodies and our minds can be a place where we feel safe and where we feel home, so that our bodies and our minds can be a place that feels safe and home for our babies and our children as well. And then when you feel ready, we'll start to gather the legs in towards the chest. So one knee in towards the chest and the other knee, and give yourself a big hug. Wrap the arms around the legs, maybe even bring the forehead up to the knees if that doesn't hurt your neck. And just give yourself a big squeeze, a big hug, and take a deep breath in and whisper silent to yourself, thank you. And release, and we can move onto one side here, maybe bringing the knees over to one side and start to rock over into the fetal position, just pausing and gently starting to sit yourself up whenever you feel ready. You can keep the eyes closed if you like, or go nice and slow.